For the last video of this series, I'm just going to show you how to set the height on the needle bar here. Now that we've got the rocker bracket assembly replaced, that's one of maybe a few adjustments you'll have to make, but this one you'll have to do for sure. And it's really easy to do on this type of a Singer. I've put the needle holder, needle clamp assembly back together, and I've loosened this set screw, so that this can be adjusted up and down for height. And what I'm going to do is just take the hand wheel and turn it towards me, the front of the machine, because I want to bottom out this collar. So you see, if I turn it towards me, it's up, back, so I just move it back and forth till I'm confident it's on the very bottom. And that's where it has to be, so you can use the timing marks on the needle bar, these little grooves that are cut in there called timing marks. The top one is for the needle bar. The bottom one is for the hook timing, a different procedure. So that top timing mark has to be parallel with the very bottom of this collar up here. And the other thing is, when you set the height, you also have to line this needle bar up parallel to the front or back of the machine. So it can't be twisted, because then your thread won't be in position to get picked up by the hook. So there's kind of two adjustments. One is for the height to the timing mark, and then one is to make it straight. And pretty easy to lean down and get to where that timing mark, it usually appears black to you, is just about to disappear into that collar. So you still want to be able to see the timing mark. So if you go a little too high, you won't see it. You don't want it too low with a bunch of the silver needle bar showing above it. You want it to be right up snug with the collar, and then tighten this up to hold it and check. So I'm just a smidge low. Now I didn't tighten that too hard, so I'm going to just try and wiggle it up, but it's not having it. So I've got to loosen it a little bit again. Get it back up there, and your position for this is stitch width 0 and needle position lever in the center. That looks good. Yeah. So I can see the black line still right up as it's about to disappear into that collar. Now I didn't tighten it real tight because I want to check my alignment now, and I see I'm a little crooked. And if I put my, will that fit in there? No, I'll have to use a small one. If I put my screwdriver in there, you may be able to see it's kind of off a little bit. The other thing on the needle clamp, the thumb screw, you can visualize it too. So since it's not really tight, I can twist it back and forth until I feel that it's lined up. The bottom of this I can sight onto the edge of the presser foot, kind of make sure that this is lined up parallel to this, and I think just a little more. That looks good for me, and then I'm going to check that I didn't pull it up or down, and it looks really good. I can see the little black timing mark just about to go into the collar. And when you get it set up the way you want, then you want to do a final tightening. Oops, come on in here. And that's got to be tightened real good, because of course that's what pulls your needle bar up and down when your machine's running. So you don't want that to come loose when you know, the vibration and the movement over time, and maybe you're sewing pretty heavy duty fabric. So just be sure that that's nice and snug. And now I feel confident that I've got the needle bar set at the right height, and I've got it lined up. And the last test you would want to do is you raise that presser foot bar up, and then you want to lower the needle bar as far as it'll go, have it bottom out, and the needle clamp assembly cannot hit the presser foot. Cannot. So I'm good with that. I've got the clearance there. So that's good. Now, as I mentioned before, you may need to make an adjustment to that driving arm for the width, and you may need to make an adjustment of the needle point to the hook point, because this assembly may be a little different than the one that was originally there. But I think that's going to be for another video. I'm just going to show you how to finish this up, and at the information on this video page I will put the resources, the link to the Thrifty Farm Girl where I got the part, and the link to manualsoncd.com where I bought the Singer's adjustment manual. Here's a printed page to give you an example. And almost every machine that I've bought over the years, I ended up buying that manual anywhere from $6 to $9, because there would be parts I just couldn't quite figure out myself how to remove and replace, or the exact adjustment for it. So now I've got that back together, I'm going to go back and I'm just going to be sure all of my set screws here are tightened up good. Get this bottom one. Yeah. And then there is a little adjustment you have to make on this, because you've got to put some pressure on that spring. So the idea is that you turn the collar towards the front of the machine a little bit and hold it and tighten the set screw. Because see, right now there's no pressure on the spring, so the spring's not pushing the needle bar back when you're sewing zigzag. So see if I can figure a way to do this without blocking. Usually I do it from the front of the machine, and I would kind of take my thumb and push it over. You see how it's in the front and then 90 degrees over here to the side. I try and push it about halfway over, and hold it there and tighten that up. And that's all the manual says, is to turn that collar and tighten it to supply sufficient spring, whatever that is. So was that enough? Nope, I didn't quite get it tightened all the way. Let's see if I can get that over there. Okay, so let me try that again. I didn't quite get it tightened up here. There we go. That's a good that's a good spot, right there is. Wait, you know what? Let me get the screwdriver in there, so when I get it in position, I'm ready to turn. There we go. That looks better. Now I can really crank it in there. Again, this one has to be real snug because it's just going to be vibrating every time it's in use. Now I've got the spring back. Okay, so all of my bracket assembly set screws now are tightened up and the spring collar is adjusted for spring. Great.